What is going on, YouTube fitness family? We are back, and today we are reacting to the legendary Mike O'Hearn, the ageless wonder himself. Baby, don't hurt me. So I'm gonna review whether this guy has good workout form and whether it could be possible that due to his immaculate training that he could be looking the best he ever has in his 50s. Without further ado, let's get into it. I got a video here with Jay Cutler, Mike O'Hearn, and Larry Wheels, so I'm sure we'll get some entertainment value out of this outside of just the training. So let's see what they have to say.
Norwegian trend actually means train.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
We're gonna trend then. Everybody's trending.
All right, chest and tries, baby. Let's go. All right, so we're gonna start out with some bench press naturally, obviously. What kind of bodybuilding workout wouldn't start with barbell bench press? Personally, not my favorite movement for chest specifically, just due to the fact that higher injury risk. Also, barbell pressing, with regards to obviously growing a bigger chest, we want to maximize load and stimulus in the actual chest itself. With bench press, it's been proven, and a lot of times people can overutilize things like their lats, their triceps, their front delt in order to press, and you could have a huge bench press without having a very big chest. And that was something that I suffered from a long time when I played football all the way through college, was having a very high bench press but not having a very large chest, and I always wondered why that was. And mechanically speaking, I was just taking over with a lot of other muscle groups in order to get the movement done. Also, I wasn't really focusing on time under tension or activation. I was trying to get the weight from A to B in the most efficient route possible. So we'll see how they perform the bench press. I'm assuming it's going to be explosive and heavy as possible. So I hope I'm wrong.
Now look at the angle. Come on up top. Come on up top. Look at these elbows. Tucked. Pop. Pop. Everything's coming into play where...
Anytime you have to say pop, pop, when you're doing a lift, probably going a little too fast. Could be wrong. Let's see.
Where Jay's up top, and you can just see him flexing through, where Larry's dropping down underneath and tucking it. Love.
Yeah.
I go elbows in. If I'm doing power bodybuilding or trying to make it harder on myself, I'm doing what you're...
Gotta make it harder on himself. It's important. See those fucking forearms, dude? Jesus
now I'm just doing
Christ, when you grab that bar. Fuck. It's got some meat on there. I know I got some crazy forearms, man, but Mike O'Hearn picking up that bar gave me some different type of feelings there.
Right now I'm just doing close grips, so I'm just going to keep it in tight, down low.
Yeah. 2 reps. That's all it takes, man. 2 reps. So essentially what he's doing is probably more of a tricep focused press. Literally no tempo whatsoever utilized. I'm sure he's just going to push some crazy maximal top end weight because that's what he's known for. Let's see.
But I'll do everything from high necks, which you're basically doing high necks,
And my whole point is
to flex it through.
yeah, flex the chest.
But at the same time, I don't know if you realize this, the majority of society can't move their shoulders that well and keep healthy.
Jay's face, dude. He's explaining shit. Jay Cutler's like, I mean, he's just like, in his head, he's just like, dude, this guy's gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, I'm literally a multi-time Mr. Olympia champion, like the pinnacle of bodybuilding, and obviously hypertrophy training. And this guy is, just see his face, dude. He's just so pissed that Mike O'Hearn is trying to school him on how to properly bench press.
Healthy that well, because you're impinging up top, but you have such good range.
Larry's just too fucking nice, dude. He's just like, yep, what Mike said.
Most people don't
They don't.
keep their scapula down in the press. Everyone wants to be up here for everything, whether it's pulling or pushing. Yeah.
That's where they hurt themselves. Well, he just been able to isolate it and keep that range of motion. Like I do behind the neck press. You're like, oh, that's the worst thing in the world. Well, I'm 100 years old, and I still got that range of motion.
I don't know if they're friends or he just fucking hates this guy, or just Jay is just a resting bitch face, but it just looks like he just hates this dude. Anyway, good tip there by Larry. Scapular retraction, meaning you want to pull the shoulders down and back, retract the scapula, and that's going to allow you for safer pressings. When you start to elevate the shoulders and you actually lift the elbows, you're going to have so much more risk of injury, so a ton of pressure on your pec minor, on your front delt, on your bicep insertion even. So there's a huge risk of injury when you don't really pull those shoulders down and back. And you guys can use that cue for almost any lift that you're doing, front plane or back plane, or you're doing posterior or frontal plane. you can use that as a form cue. Like if you have really good posture, you're pulling those shoulders down and back, you're opening your chest. That's the same thing for pressing. That's the same thing for pull down, for rowing, all of those things. For the most part, with the exception of just like a few exercises, maybe for upper back, you want to maintain that postural integrity throughout the course of the movement, and you're just gonna get so much more out of it, and you're just gonna be much safer throughout. So good tip there, but we're not even getting through the first exercise, so I'm gonna shut up. All right, we'll get on some big boy weights. Let's see how Mike performs these reps. To his forearms, I can't get over it. Here's my thing with Mike. You know what I mean? He's so strong, dude. He's so strong. Especially for his age. He just like, and it's a miracle that he stayed so healthy, like with how explosively he trains at such a, you know, high weight. I think it is a testament just like how much he spends time on his overall wellness with the other time that he's not in the gym. So I'm sure he does a ton of mobility work. He gets a ton of sleep. He drinks a ton of water. He takes probably a ton of supplements, and there's no jokes to be made there, but just like health supplements. And all these things in conjunction allow him to train at heavier weights. But if you guys, I'll tell you right now, if you're not Mike O'Hearn, enhanced or not, if you have a day job, you're sitting at a desk for 8-9 hours, you go and you try to throw around weight at that speed with no other priming, you're probably low on sleep, you have kids, whatever the case may be, you're not doing as much mobility as Mike O'Hearn, you're not taking all the health supplements, joint lubrication, fish oil, whatever that you want to say, it's like you're going to get hurt training like this. I'm just going to tell you straight up. You need to have the type of time that Mike O'Hearn has to mobilize and keep himself healthy. And also, Mike is a 1%er. Like he is, regardless of whether he's on gear or not or how much he is, this dude is a 1% of the 1%, and you can't come and expect to train like him with the type of intensity that he does without getting hurt. So just like tossing that disclaimer out there. Love you, Mike, dude. I've seen you train. You're a fucking animal. So let's move on.
Tired of generic fitness plans that never get you results? Say goodbye to the guesswork with my one-on-one coaching. It offers personalized strategies for maximum results and sustainability. Ready to elevate your physique? Fill out an application today. Link in the description.
Nice.
See that squeeze, Mike?
Look at the squeeze. You guys can watch this out. Watch the range of motion and the squeeze.
So what Jay's doing here, you can see he doesn't lock out completely at the top of the rep. So that's like a very bodybuilder modality of not wanting to completely lock out and lose tension. Once you stack the joint, meaning you straighten here, here, and here, you're actually gonna lose a lot of tension, or pretty much all tension in your chest, because you've got basically no force outwardly that's causing any strain on the chest. So when you lock out, you're actually putting the chest completely at rest for whatever it is, a half a second. So what Jay is doing there, he's only going up about 80% of the way to maintain tension in the chest, and then it allows him to not have to use as much weight. He's doing very slow on the eccentric. One thing he's doing is keeping the bar really high, and the big focus there is to keep in the upper chest. I would prefer to see him a little bit over the chest more, driving the elbows a little closer to the body. I think this has, you know, at lighter weights can be okay, but once you go up past, I mean, this is a really strong guy. If he goes past 225, 315 with that form up by his throat, I mean, you're also putting that bar with no safeties on the side, right next to your throat, right next to your jugular. Like, I wouldn't do it personally. If you do it on a Smith machine, it's a little different story. I just don't think the risk reward profile is there. I would say just do an incline press if you want to get that high up on the chest. But all right, now we're getting into the good stuff. So now we're doing some supinated grip bench press. Honestly, guys, no extra benefit from pressing in a supinated position, especially on a flat bench. You're making the exercise a lot harder for yourself. You're putting a lot of pressure on your forearm, especially like the bones in your forearm by going like this. It's just not a very natural, you just see it just doesn't look right. You know what I mean? When you have 315 pounds in your freaking hands like that, man, you're just asking for it. It also could slip off your hand really easily. There's just no benefit. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, scientifically speaking, proven, literally changing the grip from pronated to supinated on a press, shoulder press, on a bench press barbell wise, it's just not going to give you any extra benefit. If anything, it's probably going to push it out of the target muscle group. So you're probably going to take over with a ton of rear delts or front delts, even a little bit of bicep here. It's just a ton of strain on your forearms unnecessarily. All right, now we're doing some triceps. Finally, I skipped ahead like 30 minutes in this hour-long video. I think they've literally done like 3 exercises. So we're doing some kneeling rope, tricep rope push-ups. Before even seeing them do that, the efficacy here obviously is reducing the amount of momentum that you can use by driving some momentum through the hips by hip hinging and getting a little bit more drive there, like some kind of quote-unquote cheat reps, some momentum reps. So they're reducing the ability to do that by going on their knees. I like this exercise. I've done it before, but we'll see how they execute it.
I'm just using other body parts. So when I'm low, it's just like when I do presses and everything, I like to press on a low seat or a low bench. When I'm too high, I feel like I can't get under it enough. So like especially shoulder presses, I love a low seat where I'm closer to the floor to press. When I sit too high, it just doesn't feel right.
Dude, I love Jay, dude, but that was fucking just, you can't get under the weight more because your fucking seat's lower to the floor in a pressing movement, dude. Like, that's a wild statement. Like, if the dumbbells are here, but I'm like closer to the floor, like the dumbbells are just gonna be also closer to the floor. I don't know.
How do you feel this compared to the tricep overhead?
No, I will say it's easier to isolate my tricep here on the floor. Jay's right about when I'm standing, I want to use my delts more.
You lean in, right?
Exactly.
And that's why I don't like I cheat on everything, to be honest, but when I lean, I tend to lean more, and I don't like doing that, especially when I'm trying to actually do one.
Another bad tip here. So when you're doing a tricep push down, what I always tell people is match the vector of force with the angle of your body, because what that does is it allows you to stay what's called on top of the weight. So if like vector force here, cable here, there's the ropes. You want to match the angle of your upper body. So you want to lean over it. And what that's going to do is keep the impetus in your tricep. Because if you're standing completely upright and I'm doing a rope push down and I push back here, inevitably I have to push down and back, and I'm going to get a little rear delt activation. Now if I come here, I lean over it, what that's going to do is 2 things. Number 1, as I come down and through, since that angle is matched, that vector force, I'm able to keep that impetus in the tricep and out of my rear delt. Number 2, what's going to do is also increase elbow flexion. So if I'm leaning forward, I can get more stretch at the top of my rep, which is going to give me more mechanical tension at the top of my rep and essentially more hypertrophy, because as we know, the more load you can have when the muscle is in its most stretched position, in this case at the top of my rep with the angle of my elbow is the greatest, that's going to give me the most hypertrophy. So the reason that you stand up straight on a tricep push down, essentially for most people, is because they tend to cheat when they lean over it. What I want you to do is lean over it, match the angle, but don't go up and down. Match the angle and keep it there so you can keep the impetus in the tricep. You don't cheat. Even if you're kneeling, I could still recommend you do that. Don't be completely upright, because you're gonna push a little bit of it in your rear delts, and it's gonna reduce the amount of top end load that you can utilize and actually complete this rep with your triceps.
Is that lockout for you?
This right there is a lockout for me. And I'll even rotate the elbows out.
But do you go heavy on this movement?
Yeah.
Then how do you lock out if you go heavy?
By lifting it.
That's one of the best lines in fucking Mike O'Hearn history. He goes, how do you lock out with such a heavy weight? By lifting it. Bro, that is a wild... Dude, look at that. Just look at him. Dude, he's fucking laser beaming him in the fucking eyes right now, dude. I need to watch that one more time, dude. This is the best part of the video.
This right there is a lockout for me. And I'll even rotate the elbows out.
But do you go heavy on this movement?
Yeah.
Then how do you lock out if you go heavy?
By lifting it.
I gotta see the reaction though.
I mean, how?
Bro. Dude, are they friends? Are they fucking, do they like each other? Dude, Larry's like, bro, you just Dude, this is getting heated. He's like, this is Larry uncomfortable. Like, this is not fucking confused, bro. This is, you just literally just fired a shot at me because he basically was saying you can't lock out if you go heavy. And Michael Hurt was like, yeah, well, if you're fucking strong enough, you can lock it the fuck out. And he's just like, dude. But to recap, some of the positives were obviously, you know, a good amount of impetus on form with the pressing, like making sure you have scapular traction, making sure you're progressively overloading, making sure it's harder for yourself. Tricep movements, really good form there, other than a slight disagreement on body angle. Making sure you get peak contraction, making sure you get really good time under tension. All really good stuff there. In terms of the bad, obviously, you know, supinating a grip when you're bench pressing is wild. Don't really see much, you know, benefit there. I think that there was a little bit, you know, these guys are big dudes. I think there was not much work done on their triceps with those super isolated push downs. Like, sure, you're gonna feel it and get a little pump, but these guys weren't even close. Like, they were looking at each of their sets, they probably had another 15, 20, 30 reps in them, and that's just not how you drive hypertrophy. You're that far away from failure. You're basically just moving weight around. So another negative, I think, is just exercise selection. I think there could have been a way better diversity of movements. It was a lot of pressing. There was not enough the fly movements. I think that the pressing that was done was too close grip to really incorporate a lot of chest. It was probably a lot of triceps and front delts. So would I do this workout for chest and triceps? Absolutely not. Would I take pieces of it? Potentially. But yeah, I'd love to see these guys train legs. I'd also love to see Mike O'Hearn and Jay Cutler just train again so I could see their facial expressions. But can't take away from any of these guys. They are absolutely amazing in their fields. Mike O'Hearn is just the timeless wonder. He looks incredible. I've got to meet the guy. He's really super nice. Jay as well, extremely nice dude. One of the best bodybuilders of all time. Larry, good friend of mine. Get to work out with him here and there. So nothing but love for all three of them. But just, you know, for the case of the video, sake of the video, what I'm doing is just breaking down what I feel like in terms of the exercise efficacy. And we'll leave that on the table of whether we feel like Mike is natty with this type of training style. But yeah, in terms of volume, I think, you know, for hypertrophy could be much higher. I think he's a very strong dude, but probably not the best way to lift if you want to increase gains naturally and keep yourself very healthy over time, especially if you don't have a shit ton of time to recover, do mobility work, and all the other things that Mike does. So hope you guys love the video. If you guys want to see more of these, please comment down below. And make sure that if you want the best apparel in the game, use code ERIC for all of your Alphalete apparel. And I will see you guys on the next video.